I've got a question for you. Have you ever seen something and thought to yourself that you will never be able to get that image out of your head?
Oh, it's something so shocking, so unbelievable. No matter how hard you try, you just can't shake it. Well, the next man we're going to tell you about certainly knows all too well just what that's like. Robert Ramberger was driving down the highway when he saw another driver throwing two kittens out of a moving car, traveling 70 miles an hour. Robert quickly pulled over onto the shoulder and managed to rescue one of the kittens. He took the little guy named Rambo to the Humane Society, where they dubbed him a miracle kitty. It took the workers about an hour to even get the frightened kitten out of Robert's car.
He was pretty banged up, although I would say remarkably in one piece for a kitten that had been thrown out of a car at highway speed.
With no broken bones and only a few bumps and bruises, Rambo will soon be ready for a loving home. Well, you know, you really have to wonder what type of person would do that, throw a kitten or any animal for that matter out of a window of a moving car.
Who would do something like that? Well, thankfully there are people such as Robert and so many others who do care. And you can add Staff Sergeant Christopher Diaz and his family to that list. You see, Christopher formed a bond with a bomb-sniffing military dog named Dino. As a matter of fact, the two worked quite well together. They were constant companions until Staff Sergeant Diaz met with his final mission. An explosive device went off and killed Christopher. In all of the heartache, his family was left wondering what would happen to Dino, at least until now.
It may be an emotional, but nonetheless momentous occasion for us.
You may wonder why all this, a discharge ceremony for a dog.
Your presence will be missed, but your name will never be forgotten.
But once you hear his story, you'll understand.
Effective immediately, you are hereby discharged from active duty and ordered to report to the Diaz family to be placed under their love and care.
For several years, Dino served with Staff Sergeant Christopher Diaz in Afghanistan. Their job was to sniff out IEDs, and they were good, saving countless lives. Then came that day, the one Diaz's dad, Salvador, still has a hard time talking about.
On September 28th, 2011,
Killed by the very weapon they were looking for.
as an American, I am grateful for his sacrifice. As a father, I am saddened by the loss of my son.
But today, they got a small piece of him back.
Thank you guys for taking such good care of him.
Through a military program, Chris's parents applied to adopt Dino. And at 7 years old, the retired Marine will now call El Paso home.
You can tell he's very energetic. Chris was the same way. And you can tell that there's a lot of love in that dog right there.
Christopher used to show us pictures of him when he was out in Afghanistan, and you know, it's just a beautiful dog.
Words can't express how we feel. Emotional, happy, ecstatic. Are we ready for this? I don't think so. Is Dino going to be ready? I hope so.
Dino's current handler says it should take about 2 weeks for Dino to realize who his new mom and dad are. But if their first meeting is any indication, he may already.
He actually, with my wife, he laid his head on top of her arms as my wife was crying a little bit.
And that is why all this, a celebration of Dino's new family, the day of his discharge.
And wish you fair winds and following seas as you begin your new life with the Diaz family. May you love and protect them just as you and Staff Sergeant Diaz did for so many of our younger Marines.
Staff Sergeant Christopher Diaz leaves behind 2 children, and his family says they can't wait to meet the dog that served with their dad.
Well, as the family spent more time with Dino, Christopher's mother was quoted as saying it's like he's always known them. As a matter of fact, one published report quoted Christopher's mother as saying, "We were able to hug Dino and say, okay, son, we've got him, and he's going to be okay."
What a great story, and a beautiful dog. Well, Dino is under the protection of a new family. When it comes to your family, you want to protect them as well. That means you need to educate yourself on tick season. And it's expected to be a bad one this year. We'll tell you why and how ticks managed to survive such a cold winter on Delmarva.
We all know the dangers of Lyme disease, but now there is another concern. We're also learning about a new tick-borne deadly disease. Find out how to look for and how to protect yourself.
Yeah, it's also mosquito season. Perhaps you don't want to cover yourself in chemicals to protect yourself. We'll share a few natural mosquito repellents that should also do the trick.
So what if we didn't have to worry about mosquitoes because they didn't bite? Wait till you hear what scientists have come up with and how it could be the answer to stopping the spread of a deadly disease. Delmarva Life will be right back.